award.
The time by National Housing Trust is 8 o'clock.
Central Pitchside brought to you by Edgecam. In financial cooperation, Connect Services, Texaco, Jamaica Stock Exchange, and Sunshine Snacks.
The Costa Cup semi-finalists are decided, the Manning Cup semi-final spots are secured, and the knockout competitions are in high gear. The festive season brings schoolboy football festivities. Hi, I'm Renaldo Adams, and welcome to Fan Central Pitchside.
And I'm Nathan Curtis. It's the time of the season where there is no room at all for mistakes. Yes, the errors brings terror and tears, and every moment matters. The semi-finals and the knockouts, Renaldo, it's as exciting as NBA playoffs.
No exaggeration there, Nathan. Man. No exaggeration. We're in the latter end of the season, and my personal favorite part of the season, you know.
No, because I think you're not talking about your personal favorite team, because we know them get knocked out. I was here last week. Okay, good.
Not because you're in the semis, sir. Mighty God, you just come back and the show just
started. No, unfortunately, we didn't make it to the semis. You know, it's a Campions lose out. Yeah, man, we lost, draw, 1-1. I'm saying it on TV because we know that they want to say on TV. Yes, Campions should have made it to the semis. The Lord had better things for us. Don't watch it. Welcome in. But we already know the semi-finalists for both the Manning Cup and the Costa Cups, and we'll discuss them later in the show. The focus, however, right now will be on the Champions Cup with the knockout competition starting on Friday and Saturday at the Montego Bay Sports Complex. Valentina Thompson has a preview.
Friday's action kicks off with tournament debutants St. Catherine High tackling second-time entrants Oterius High at 4 p.m. Oterius are on a path of history after reaching the Costa Cup semi-finals for the first time. They will be in a confident mood with the belief they can succeed in this Champions Cup affair. Meanwhile, coach Anthony Patrick will use his experience as a two-time Manning Cup winner to guide his St. Catherine unit in this crucial knockout game. In the second game at 6:15 p.m., two-time winners Jamaica College and last year's Ben Francis Cup champions McGrath High will square off. JC, who last won the title in 2022, are showing signs of significant improvement, while McGrath will look to continue their rise among the big boys with an upset. On Saturday, defending champions Glenmuir High will set out to become the first back-to-back champions. But the high-flying Clarendon-based institution will face Kingston College, who are listed as one of the favorites to win the tournament. That game is slated for a 6:15 p.m. kick-off. It will be a repeat of last year's semi-finals, where Glenmuir secured a 5-4 penalty kick win following a 1-all draw in regulation time. For Kingston College, they are not only out for revenge, but to move on and win their third Champions Cup crown after winning the 2017 and 2019 editions. In the curtain raiser at 4 p.m., Heidel High battle another Clarendon outfit, Garvey Maceo. Heidel make their fourth appearance in the competition, while Garvey Maceo compete for a sixth time. It's a rematch between both teams, with Heidel beating Garvey Maceo 4-2 at this stage last season.
So, bro, KC, JC, Glenmuir, top three favorites. But who is Nathan Curtis's pick?
Hey, boy, I've been making these picks wrong, so maybe I gotta add a little bad luck by somebody. But the truth is, I think the winner for the Champions Cup will be determined by the game between KC and Glenmuir.
You think that's the final before the final?
I think that's the final before the final, because whoever wins that builds a kind of momentum. Both of those teams have kind of been flying high, and I think outside of JC being like a next class in the Manning Cup, showing up a Mona high over the season, you see that Glenmuir has been the class of D Cup. So if they can't persist against KC, then you suspect that KC can take that game as momentum going into the Champions Cup final for me.
What about the 2022 winners, though, JC? What is it that is deterring JC in your eyes?
I don't necessarily think it's a deter for JC. The beautiful thing about this season has been it's no longer the year where we're talking about names. Teams have just been showing up. And when you look at the teams on a consistent basis, most of them have been playing some quality football. I like the parity that I'm seeing, and it's not that JC can't win. I think a lot of what has been happening is momentum. What killed Mona High is that they didn't have the kind of momentum going in. What has helped Heidel High is that they've had the momentum going. Catherine is a momentum that has been helping them. So I think teams have been trying to kind of find that vibe. JC kind of has that vibe, so they're definitely going to be there at the end of it all. But in my mind, you see the momentum that comes from a game like that so early means that, boy, I can take that in the next game, knowing if I can beat X, now Must can win the competition. Right.
The matches are being played in Montego Bay. How much do you think that will favor the Doncaster Cup teams?
I don't think it will favor any team, because the truth is, it's not like it's a Cornwall College who's playing and can get a home crowd support. We're all in the same small island. I think having a quality game and a quality pitch like that is more what it will influence. I think the teams that play the tiki-taka, the European style, that's what you're going to see. And I mean, you have to big up ISSA really and truly for recognizing that you can't always be playing these things at Sabina or Stadium East, but bringing it to the west of Jamaica, bringing it to rural Jamaica now gives the fans an opportunity to see that quality football. And I think the reason why you can look and say, boy, it's about the style of play is because you're bringing it to a place where it's not about, boy, we know the part of the pitch and we can get one, and or we know somebody just can outrun somebody. It's about the quality of team on the day. And that's what this has proven over in all the competitions this year.
Let's close on this. Score prediction, KC versus Glenmuir.
I think we'll go 2-1. I think Glenmuir will find a way.
Glenmuir, 2-1. Defending champions.
I think they'll find a way.
All right. More Pitchside when we return from this break. Don't go.
You hear the news? AM Financial give them customers cash back for the Christmas. Cash back! You can get up to $15,000 with every loan disbursed. True. Plus, them increase them loan amount so you can get anything you want. And with every loan, you get a free gift. Free! Apply now at loansale.amfinancialja.com or WhatsApp 876-437-3982. Make sure you apply early. Promotion ends January 31st. Conditions apply.
You know my heart goes crazy when you give me lips to time. Let's explore our love. We'll leave the world behind. Can you feel this beat?
ISSA Schoolboy Football, September 7 to December 14 on CVM TV. ISSA Schoolboy Football, brought to you by Edgechem, AIM Financial Corporation, Texaco, Connect Services, Jamaica Stock Exchange, and Sunshine Snacks.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winford Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Wednesday, dethroned Manning Cup champions Mona High boosted their chance of ending the season with a trophy after beating St. Jago High 3-0 in the Walker Cup at Stadium East on Wednesday. The win put Mona in the semi-finals where they will play the winners of the Campions stats encounter. Now Excelsior made it to the last four with a 7-6 penalty shootout win over Eltham following a 0-0 draw in regulation time. Now there was a bit of controversy as dethroned Manning Cup champions saw their captain Dante Peralta being ruled ineligible to play against St. Jago. Now, Peralta had featured on Vere United's bench for their game against Tivoli Gardens in the Jamaica Premier League on Sunday. Now, this was said to have violated ISSA's appearance rule, which states that a player who plays a match in any club competition during the SBF season must sit out 6 days after playing in that competition before being eligible to represent their school in a schoolboy football game. Now, guys, you know this season has just been filled with thrills, spills, and controversy.
Yes.
Views.
Gio, you just followed. What you say?
Now, before the show, we were having this discussion about why we thought Mona probably would not have made it to the semifinals. And something that we said was that players, Denzel McKenzie, Peralta, a few other players playing for Veer, and probably those players are, tired, probably focused not as much on Manning Cup. We don't know for a fact, we're just speculating here. And then you see here now with the controversy with Peralta, because he was on the bench, he can't play.
But my question is, or my retort would be, the rules were established from before the season. So you already know that if you play a JPL, a Jamaica Premier League match, today, you have to go wait 6 days before you go back to
play schoolboy football.
Some may say that he was on the bench, he didn't actually play, but I think it is once you're in the match day
card. Once you're on the match day squad, the match card.
It doesn't matter if you don't enter the pitch.
But you see, for me, I think there's no reason to call it a controversy. It's a miscalculation because they've been doing it all season and they've not found themselves foul of the rule until now. And so that's for me, as much as Craig being Craig going say something. It's just a miscalculation on Mona's part. And I don't think there's any reason for us to think that ISSA is being untoward because guess what? Again, they've been doing the whole thing all season unless they were making it go by with a blind and them choose to do it now, which is not what is being said. What is being said is that...
some research. We need to go do some research on that.
Let me play host for a second. Ask you guys a question. Mona, why do you think Mona did not qualify to the semi-finals? Like, I don't know. You guys, you watch the match. What do you think of?
So I'll say it this way. I don't think it's speculation. Mona, the same thing that built the team, killed the team. They looked tired.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
And I think most of that comes from the fact that they've been playing football as we were touting from summer, and they've been playing high-level quality football.
Someone have up on trials.
And then you're gone to Europe on the trials. And then you have your core players that play Premier League. So sometimes them are playing at the game, sometimes them on the bench. But you have to be training with the Premier League team to also be so it's not like I get up and just jump in. At some point, you kind of go through burnout. No matter how young and fit you are, your body starts to just not give you as much.
So you think even though they have the 6 days, because in a sense you can't play Manning Cup and JPL in a week. That's basically the rule in a nutshell. You think even though they have the 6 days, I think players are still feeling it.
Let us count the number of matches, Our Premier League season, a big professional league, has 38 games stretched over.
Well, our one
JPL
40.
No, but I get what you're saying.
So, at the professional level, it's not stretched over 2 months. It's not stretched over 3 months. It's stretched over
1 game per week.
1 game per week, and then you have international breaks because the big man them need time for rest. You know that the body going, even if you're giving a week at a time, sometimes they need 2 weeks, or sometimes they're going to be carrying injuries. So for me, Mona's greatest gift was also the greatest curse, and it worked against them ultimately because whereas other teams were fresh, and we've all been saying, this year is a year of parity. So you can't feel so because you have a one player that better. You have players that are just as good on the opposing team who could probably play in JPL as well.
Yeah, man.
So
especially
that's what happens.
Especially in the Manning Cup, when you talk about collective talent in the Manning Cup, I think is the most parity. We've seen ISSA's rules that they would have implemented from 2-3 years back. Definitely would have helped, but just the level of coaching, I think now
is up.
I think we have the most qualified coaches in Jamaica. We said this on a previous show. So the level of coaching, parity. Previous years you could have said like a 2 standout baller. This year I think you have a few good players, but you have a lot of good players. But I think this is just more equal talent.
We're not calling names. And for me, I actually love the fact that we're not calling names. Because when you call names, it kind of masks the quality that's happening in some other teams. This is the year that a lot of players are going to be getting scholarships to go overseas. Because you see scouts watching teams now. Boy, that Campion team look good. Let me see who I can pick out of that team.
No man.
That Woolman's team look good. Since you all said that Woolman's team look good, let me see who I can pick out of that team.
It's a fact, because not to brag, but even me myself, I've been in the realm for a bit, and on my Instagram account I have my email address, and probably every 2 weeks I get one email from some random person. I say, what's the next big talent coming out of Jamaica? And I think the Kahim Dixons, the Jean Whispers, Shaquan Satchel is a name that people don't mention a lot, but Shaquan doing very good in Europe now, over there in Austria. These players have left and gone overseas, and people are now seeing Jamaica as like, a talent hub. We can get some footballers out of Jamaica. Yeah.
So for me, I've enjoyed it, and I'd say, I know me and you've been having the Mona, the Campion Woolmers fight.
No,
if you
there's
want to call
no
it that.
fight.
Yeah, Campion is better. You're right. You're right. But the truth is, the reason that we can be having this type of conversation all the way up to the quarterfinals and semifinals still is because for this season, nobody was boxing any other team around. You have expectations. So we expected Mona to be a little bit better. But even when they were playing some of their best ball, they were beating teams 5 and 6 love. Right? So for me, that's something that you just have to be really, really blessed. But I enjoyed the schoolboy football this year. And what I can say is if you are in the semifinals, you deserve to be there, right? And it's not about the name, it's about the performance. Now, Heidel, St. Catherine High, KC and JC can be argued to be the 4 best teams in the Manning Cup this year. And again, the argument is arguing because there's a... Yeah. Guys, what do you think? Are they the 4 best teams in the Manning Cup this year?
Yeah, man. I think, well, we mentioned Campion. And I thought Campion could have gone through. We also mentioned which other school?
Well, you have Eltham that was there. You had Tivoli that was there.
School who gave KCRN for their money and just kind of tail off a bit, saying, you know. But I think if you're looking at the entire course of the whole season, I think these are the 4 best schools. And as I mentioned earlier, we're talking about parity. These schools are all schools that would have lost the games this season to other schools, but they're still here. The collective body of work. We mentioned Heidel before the season, finalists last year, and Heidel this year has just had that driving spirit to just continually get results. St. Catherine High School is a school that last year had KC on the brink.
But more than that, I mean, over the past, over the past maybe 3-4 years, you've been seeing Catherine.
But this is not a shock for Catherine. Catherine school has been building, has been close, was very close last year, and this year they've broken through and gone to the semi-finals.
Anthony Patrick.
Yeah, man.
And I mean, Anthony Patrick is one of those coaches that we're not talking about it enough. He has been doing a lot of good work in schoolboy football for a long time.
A lot of good work with St. Catherine as well, because St. Catherine is linked to one of those clubs there in St. Catherine. And from pre-season, there's a lot of noise, but again, St. Catherine continues. And
racing has been good. We call them name. I mean, so you are the one who kind of spoke about it. The connection between schoolboy football and the JPL can only breed success. And I mean, when you look at it, Veer has been doing well with the infusion between the schoolboy footballers from Mona and some of the schoolboy footballers from Clarendon who kind of stepped into the team. So for me, that's one of the things that I am looking forward to more as we go along, because again, with the rules that ISSA have, with what we're seeing from how teams are operating, there can only be more quality football coming.
Certainly. Now, Jamaica College will play St. Catherine in the first semi-final on November 29. Then a repeat of last year's semi-finals unfold when Heidel and KC battle in the other fixture. Mandem, predictions? Gio, you first.
JC. I'm going to say Catherine.
No, JC I play Catherine. And KC I play Heidel.
Sorry.
So,
JC.
And?
I'm going to say Heidel.
JC Heidel final.
Yeah,
Kingston versus St. Catherine final.
Yeah, man. KC is good, but as you said earlier, I don't think they're good enough.
So, I'm going to say
quick and fast.
It's going to be all Catherine. So St. Catherine Heidel.
Catherine Heidel?
Yeah.
None of the colleges.
Catherine has just been consistent. I can't knock them because they've shown up when they need to show up. And Heidel, again, you see that game against Campion, I think when you have a tough game at the right time, it helps you as a team. And I don't think they're going to make the mistakes they made against Campion, against KC. I think they're going to show up at this game to say, you know what? We know we can get beaten, but now make it happen.
The reason he's choosing is because his favorites dropped out. His favorites dropped out, so I have to pivot to.
I have to pivot.
Can't pivot to my favorite.
Calm down. On the set. Hey, we know this set is kind of heated, but save it for the debate that is coming after this break. Cool. So forward.
Welcome to the ZZ Lottery Draw for 8:20 p.m. Thursday, November 21st, 2024. The one-drop winning number is 32. The hat-trick winning numbers are 8, 2, 8. The foreplay winning numbers are 2, 8, 0, 0. The Lucky Day Lotto winning numbers are 3, 15, 18, 5, 17. The fireball is red. Thank you for playing with Izizi.
I'm getting scared. Family Feud.
Brought to you by
We are the Caring Store, waiting to serve you. It's time to experience independent living. Visit us today.
So much for staying with us right here on FC Pitchside. We're now going into big business with the debate. Gio and Nathan will argue today's hot topic: Champions Cup versus the Olivier Shield. Is the winner of the Champions Cup the true All-Ireland winner, or is it the Olivier Shield winners that deserves the title? Let's find out. We're going to start out this week with Gio. No, I'm going to start with Gio. So, Gio, you're going to
every week Gio starts.
I feel like him just waiting for that.
Listen, every week Gio starts.
You have a minute, man.
A minute?
Time is off the
All right. So traditionally, it's the Olivier Shield. Mm-hmm. That is the big thing in schoolboy football. But I think as of recently, the introduction of the Champions Cup, the format, how the competition is structured, the potential to see your team, go against the best teams in schoolboy football, the top 4, top 8 best teams in general in schoolboy football. I think that format is just superior. It's just top. It's not just going against a one team. It's testing your quality on a more consistent basis against different tactical setups, different tactical formations, different types of players. It's more than one game. It's more difficult to win because you have to be consistent, you have to be focused on each of those games, and you have to be able to absorb information and execute different tactical approaches depending on your opponent. So I think while the Olivier Shield has this thing where, is the top dog from Manning Cup, top dog from the Costa Cup, is a one-off game. I think the Champions Cup giving you plenty games if you're a good team, if you win and go through. I think that's a better format to judge how good or the quality of a team.
Before you respond, Nathan, Gio, are you basically saying that the Olivier Shield has now become the Europa League while the Champions Cup is the Champions League?
Why are you putting words in
my
I'm just asking. I'm not saying that. The champion, the Olivier Shield is more like the Super Cup. So it's like, if you have the European Super Cup, it's more like that.
Okay.
Listen, I tried,
He made an excellent point, and I understood where he was coming from. So let me tell you why.
Yeah.
Let's use the big leagues as I said. You don't say the FA Cup winner is the best team in England. Because as a knockout competition, it basically you stand a chance on the day. The Olivier Shield represents the fact that as a team over the season, you made it to the pinnacle of your competition. You won the Manning Cup, you won the Costa Cup. Whether it's a one-off game, a two-leg game, the two best teams, I won the Manning Cup, I won the Da Costa Cup, I am now preparing myself to go and face the next best team in the island. There can be no other argument than to say that team prevailed on the day. No, the fact is you can say, boy, the next team, they look like a better team all season, but on the one-off game, them lose. But at the end of the day, you have to win the game for win. And knockout competition, though exciting, though fun, though nice for watch, you can have teams, and we can talk about the Champion Cup winners over the years who have not been Manning Cup champions or the Costa Cup champions, and show that, boy, in a knockout competition, you never really get the good chances in Manning Cup, but you say, you know what, I put all my eggs in this basket for go after the Champions Cup, and you win. For me, it's not to say that the winner of the Champions Cup isn't a very good team or one of the top teams in the island. But I think for you to be considered to be the best team, you have to kind of win a competition of the best. And to finish it off, the Champions Cup, by virtue of having as many games added to the season. So let us start with the original format. Not know what they've kind of refined it and slinged it down. When you were having like the top 8, it really was about the biggest team, because by the time the Champions Cup was coming around, for you to have a squad that was able to compete, it wasn't about you necessarily being the best team. You just had to have a big enough squad can say, I can be competitive in both Manning Cup and Champions Cup at one time. Because remember, at some time you were playing both competitions at the same time. So for me, that's one of those things that you have to go back and say, yo, Olivia Shield kind of made or allowed for you to say, yo, focus, win your Manning Cup, focus, win the Costa Cup, and know so you get there, the next big game you have to go after is the Olivia Shield.
All right, so two things. So first thing, I want to mention parity and continuity. So before this, you mentioned about how schools used to be bigger back in the earliest days of when it was called Flow Champions Cup. Now, I get what you're saying, but you have to understand that now in schoolboy football, as you mentioned in the show earlier, there's more parity in the competition. So all of these schools are more equal. So it's no longer about who have been the biggest squad and who's able to rotate. No, nowadays in schoolboy football, it's about everybody being able to put their best set of players forward, and the Champions Cup is a big competition. The next thing you mentioned about was that teams putting their egg in one basket. No, because usually when you get to the Champions Cup, that would have meant that you're in the semi-finals of the Manning Cup or the Costa Cup. Or
the quarters. Remember now where it started from before.
Okay,
it used to be.
But we're talking about now. We're talking about now.
But let us be fair. No, if you're going to bring it, you have to bring it to the. You have to bring the history and the context of it.
But our conversation is based on. Okay. But our conversation is based on this season, last season, this season.
So the question is about this season. Is it the best? Is it determining the best this season? All right, can we start over the debate, guys?
No. Can I finish my point though?
My apologies.
So this season, we're talking about this season, what's happening now in the current context of schoolboy football. It's not a case of if you would have made it to the Champions Cup, you're in the semi-finals of either the Manning Cup or the Costa Cup. So it's not a case of putting all the eggs in one basket. You're still viable and you're still competing in both competitions. So again, it speaks to the overall quality and your quality that you need to perform in the Champions Cup, but I also need to go back and perform in my Manning Cup or in my Costa Cup competition, so I can potentially win those competitions as well. There is no team that is out of schoolboy football.
Do you remember who won Olivia Shield last year and who won Champions Cup?
Champions Cup last year was Glenmere. Olivia Shield last year was Clarendon College.
Who was the best team to you last year?
Clarendon College was the best team in schoolboy football.
What did they win?
They won the Olivia Shield last year.
Right.
No, but that doesn't take away from the general point of the competition.
All I'm saying
okay, but who did Glenmere beat in the Champions Cup final?
We're not saying no.
This conversation goes both ways.
Well, I thank you for that.
This competition goes both ways.
But I think the context has to be a historical. No, the truth is going forward.
Context can be historical. When this season.
Context is historical.
No.
You know, we're going to have a we need to have a debate about how to debate. Because the context matters in the debate.
We can't have a weak pause. We can't have a debate.
Gentlemen.
Let the headmaster have his opportunity.
I do take the opportunity to remind you of the question. Which crown really determines the best team on the island? Is it the Champions Cup or is it the Olivia Shield?
Not this year alone here.
Yeah, but we have to take this season to account.
All right, so tell you what. It's tight, so we'll go to the judges. VAR, I'll go to the judges. Judges? Yes?
You know everything properly.
All right, so the VAR has spoken. This week's winner